Yeah, today is the 20th of October 2022. My next topic will be the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. Today we are living on a knife edge. There is a possibility that that war will spill over to the rest of the world. And it seems that the leaders are still naive or oblivious of what is going on in Europe. Europeans have always been warmongers. All the wars, the great wars that has been fought in the world were started in Europe. And we see now there is a supply of arms to Ukraine. Obviously, the Russians are going to retaliate. There's a rumor that Russian planes were seen in Alaska. Alaska is in America. So once we see Russian bombers in Alaska and being intercepted, that says a lot about the future of the universe, because we know Europeans are warmongers, and Europeans will also bomb Africans as well. We have nothing to do with the war in Ukraine and Russia, because we know Europeans think that they are better than Africans. There's nothing we can do about it. They feel that their color makes them better than us. So we've got to live with that. There's nothing we can do. So that war will spill over. That war will result in the Third World War, which means Armageddon, because they all have nuclear weapons and they are adamant to use them. I think Biden is a sober man, but Vladimir Putin will use the nuclear weapon. He will use it. He's got nothing to lose. And his friends are also the North Korean president and also the Chinese president. Those people do not mind. They do not mind using their nuclear weapons. So we know that in China, the rate of the people's rights, they have got no human rights. That is not the rate of human rights in China is deplorable. So and there's also racism in China, especially when directed to Africans and whites. Chinese think they are the better nation compared to whites and blacks. So there's a problem there with the human rights issues. And the ticking bomb will be the issue about Taiwan, that the USA is helping, and because of that, the war is very imminent. It is very imminent. Also, that war was not supposed to be a problem. It's something that would have been averted. It's something that had not even started, because it was the issue of Ukraine deciding to join NATO. NATO was formed immediately after the Second World War, because there was this distrust from the West against Stalin. They never trusted Stalin. They thought Stalin was so powerful, because, to tell you the truth, Stalin actually single-handedly defeated Germany. That is why the Russians were the first to capture Berlin and make sure that Hitler is smoked out from his bunker. So they saw his strength and they became edgy, and they were saying they are only scared of him, of his ideology, that is now political ideology. So because of that ideology, political ideology of communism, NATO was formed. So NATO will always be a Russian enemy. because it was just a mechanism to make sure that Stalin does not attack any part of the European land or nation. So that's how NATO was formed. So this guy, Vladimir Zelensky, has now indicated that he wants to join NATO, like how other nations who were formerly part of the Soviet Union had joined NATO, and they are protected. Nobody can touch them now. So he wants also Ukraine to join NATO. But the problem of Ukraine is that it is very near. In fact, it is sharing a border with Russia. So if Ukraine joins NATO, that means there will be military bases on the border between Russia and Ukraine, and that will threaten the sovereignty and safety of Russia against NATO or against the West. So that is why we are having that war. This could have been averted by just keeping quiet, using what is called quiet diplomacy. Keep quiet and join NATO. Don't make it, don't publicize it. Just take the nation to NATO, because I can see that everybody in Ukraine, mostly, especially those that are in the West, do not want to be part of Russia. Hence, this war has been dragging for so many months. It's now going for a year, and it's going to ultimately affect everybody in Europe, and it can also spill over to the other parts of the world, including Africa and China and America. And once that is done, then we have a world war in our hands. That means, like my grandfather who fought in the Second World War, we will have to be part of that war, because we were born of soldiers and we are soldiers. That war is a tragedy. It needs to be stopped. We need bold leaders who will stand up and go to the United Nations and tell everyone to stand up and stop the war in Russia.